lights und Action und Camera!
You forgot the fan in the chamber!
Let's go, bub. Rookie.
Don't you know who I am? I'm the Juggernaut!
Nothing moves the blob. Let's go, bub.
Otherwise, ready? Thumbs up. Okay. All right, I'm going to go ahead and bring up the mics and get us transferred on over.
Don't you know who I am? I'm the Juggernaut!
Alrighty, we are back and live once again. Dale is having some technical issues. His computer decided to eat his microphone driver for whatever reason.
Forgot to sacrifice Twinkies this month.
What's
to his
that?
motherboard.
Sacrifice Twinkies?
Yeah.
Oh, to the computer?
Mm-hmm.
Oh, okay, gotcha. So at any rate, thankfully the system we're using will allow me to add him back, no problem. So once all I have to do is grab the link and throw it in there. So setup again is not going to be an issue. So since we are back and live, and Justin hasn't been here, Brittany, why don't you give us a recap?
Yes, sir. Let's see. So Justin missed the last 2 games.
Oh, and did he get the karma?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, good.
So I'll just go through that real quick. We working on some invention projects. We stopped a heist downtown. Some dude called Cold Chill. And then there was a friendly kind of working with us, and he called himself Wraith, and we don't know much about him. He just kind of slipped out when the hoplites got there. We have been working on getting an outside investor in Quantum Unlimited.
Mm-hmm.
His name is Donovan Alexander McLaren. So the previous game we had given him a presentation, and he pointed out that our med scanner had a feature that would identify the deviant gene, and he asked that we remove that for the commercial market. And of course, Brittany didn't know it was in there, and so Carmen feels a little bit out of sorts about having revealed to this investor that she is a deviant, because she used it on herself to demonstrate the product. Then the next game, we got some intel about missing persons in Argentina, and we think it's probable that they are SPBs, so we're going to check it out. Some connection with Miss Fury and Baroness von Kampf. With the Baroness now operating somewhere in South America. Let's see, we had Mr. McLaren come to the office, and he said that he would give us an answer later today to find out about whether or not he would invest $10 million in our company. And then Meredith gave Carmen a CD with Sagan gave Carmen a CD from Reich Shield about the information about her mother's death, and its ties to the company Shadestone, which is where Carmen used to work after college, the science company. And So they went through a bunch of that information, and then she left it for Meredith. And then we went to Argentina.
Via teleportation.
Yes.
And she was pretty accurate. She got you there in one piece, but she misjudged the distance by just a bit and teleported above a field instead of in the field. And everybody fell and almost hit cows.
But at least we weren't teleported into the cows.
Which would be really bad, yes.
So that's a win.
Anytime you can avoid teleporting into a living being or creature, count that as a win.
And to go from 10 to 20, it would be 2,000, right?
What's that?
For like strength to go from 10 to 20, that would be 2,000?
Yes.
Awesome. Popping my bank and increasing my strength.
Oh, okay.
I've been saving for a long time.
And he gets charm right as he spends the karma. Dun, dun, dun. And before we go any further, let's go ahead. It's the beginning of the month. We need to roll for karma.
I haven't rolled in a while.
Go for it.
So
7.
all right. So 7 times 50.
350? Is that right?
Bless
Yeah,
you.
350.
Oh, math.
And I'm going to bank another 400.
Okay. On what?
I'm going to start working to build up agility. Next thing I need is 4,000.
Okay.
I gotta use this before I lose it.
Yep. Keep in mind, I need updated copies of everybody's character sheets. It's been a while since I've gotten that, so.
Okay.
So at this point, everyone is standing in the middle of a country field just outside of Buenos Aires.
Jesus wants a hug.
The statue.
Yeah. Sorry, it's
I think that was Rio de Janeiro in Brazil.
Oh, it is. Oh,
I think so, yes.
Okay, that's my bad. It's a joke from Hellsing Abridged.
Oh, yeah, I haven't seen it.
They do a pan over the statue, and Alucard goes, "Jesus needs a hug." I know it's silly, but it's funny.
Sure. All right. Well, while we are waiting on Dale, everybody at this point, it is still daylight out. Now that everybody is here illegally in Buenos Aires, what?
They forgot to stamp my passport on my way through.
Yeah, on your way through the teleport.
Oh, I have a plausible deniability. My character actually does have a passport that has a lot of stamps on it.
And that would make Ixion, although he's not here, doubly illegal alien. Okay, but everybody is standing in the field at this point. Cows slowly grazing around you. They take note of the fact that there are strangers that have materialized in front of them, but they're cows. They don't understand a whole lot. So with the exception of a couple odd-sounding moos, they just kind of wander around, meander around a bit.
And we're looking for a few missing SPBs, right? I know I was hyperbolic before the game started, but we are actually looking for superpowered people that have gone missing. Correct?
Yes.
Potentially.
Yeah, so I think our plan is to maybe sniff around. I'm not sure if we had a game plan on coming here.
Yeah, the whole of the plan focused on how you were getting here, not quite so much what you were going to do once you got here.
As per usual.
As Dale will hopefully be here soon, Mark would recommend that everybody at least find a hotel so that there's a base of operations and some place to lay low should that be necessary.
Are we close to a road?
Yeah.
I
I
vote
mean, it's a countryside, so it's
I vote that we make for the road and try and hitch a ride with somebody going into town.
okay.
Also, if anybody has cash on them, probably dollars would be okay.
Dollars would go quite the distance here in Argentina.
Because obviously, if we missed the passport stamping, I'm pretty sure we skipped the money exchange too.
You did, yes. There was no money exchanger in the teleport, unfortunately. So. So collectively, if that's what you want to do collectively, the group carries on and you go out through the field. It's a little uneven here and there, as the cows have clearly grazed this ground on more than one occasion. Making your way to what appears to be a flat surface of a road, or looking for posts or something that kind of denotes it, so that way the vehicles don't exactly cross over into one of the fields and crash or potentially hit a cow, or something in the pasture. Looking around, you can see the large city of Buenos Aires in the distance to your left. So that part isn't difficult. Finding the road, it takes maybe 5-10 minutes of poking around, and then of course which direction you need to go. So you start walking down the road, hopefully looking for somebody to hitch a ride from. Sure enough, an old pickup with a bunch of like excess parts and whatnot in the back comes rolling down the road from the other direction.
So I guess we'll wave them down.
Okay. I'm just curious. I don't know if you're like going to hold them up, if you're going to stick out the thumb and hope that translates over here in Argentina as well, or flag them down, or how you want to do this.
Try and wave them down.
Okay.
Do you speak Portuguese?
In Argentina, I believe it's just Spanish.
Oh, is it?
But
I
also,
thought, I thought Argentina was Portuguese.
Nope.
There's definitely a contingent that speak German, but that doesn't exactly help a whole lot.
Oh yeah, huh?
Arabic, German, and French as well, and Spanish is the official national language.
Oh, Spanish. Well,
yeah, I wasn't questioning you. It's just I know a lot of those countries have Portuguese as their official language, so that's my brain being my brain. I do apologize about that.
No, it's fine. It's good to know. Nobody here, of course, knows Spanish.
I only know English, bad English, and Russian.
English, bad English, and Russian.
You ever grow up in a place that speaks local dialects of English that's just horrible? What you talking about?
I've been places.
Forget about it.
I remember one time this is a non sequitur. I went to check out a school in the South, and a local guy picked me up like the shuttle from the airport, and I was trying to talk to him, and his accent was so thick. I was thinking, if this is what people sounds like here, I'm gonna have a hard time.
If I knew we were coming, I would have brought a map.
Fair. I'll let you guys have that. And since the big brains didn't actually think about it in character, I will also allow that somebody brought a Spanish to English, English to Spanish guidebook, for tourists. So it gave you a couple basic phrases. But you wave the guy down. At this point, he looks pretty reserved because everybody here looks like you're not from around here, and you're out in the middle of nowhere.
Hola, ¿cómo está?
He just looks at you and he's like, "Hola."
He pulls out the map. Español bad aquí? And he points at the map.
Okay. So, I mean, he looks at the
The
map.
word is donde.
And he's I mean, he kind of shrugs. He sees what you're pointing at.
I knew this would happen. Justin's pets never learning Spanish is catching up with him.
I'm gonna say Buenos Aires and point the way that he's going, and maybe like put my hands together.
Okay, so basically trying to look like you're indebted to him or pretty pleased sort of thing.
Yes.
Okay. That kind of translates over, through a number of languages. Let's see how receptive he is. Oh. Okay. Well, that's not too shabby. So he's clearly thinking about it a second, and he puts his hand on something on the on the seat next to him, and then he says something. It doesn't translate. Like, you guys have no idea what he's saying, but he motions to the back of the truck.
Gracias.
Yeah, we'll hop in.
Okay. Well, at this point, everybody just kind of gets their things, hops in.
And I'm gonna ask Mark what the exchange rate is, if he knows.
Mark does not. It's not something he was prepped for, but it's something he could easily find out if he gets, he knows where to get that once you get in town.
Well, the purpose being, how much would be appropriate for us to give this man for the ride?
Oh, well, if that's the case, if you give him $10, that should be sufficient, because that will go quite a ways in translation to Argentine dollars.
And
I was gonna give him $10 either way.
Oh, I was gonna say, and also, who has $10? Because I sure don't.
Freddie is a frequent traveler. He would keep cash.
Sure. Okay. That is true. So Freddie pulls out the 10 spot and hands it to him. He looks pretty surprised at first. One, of course, because it's, American cash, but two, holy cow, he just got tipped.
Real quick.
So his demeanor is significantly better at this point. Well, you can't really understand what he's saying, but the money definitely greased the wheels there.
I do have a question for you real quick.
Sure.
How many days was it between... I know I was gone for 6 weeks because of life, but how many days had passed for me to roll for power stunts?
You can make another roll.
Okay. I didn't know if it'd been like 2 days or 3 days.
I don't remember offhand, but it definitely hasn't been terribly long.
Nope, still not good enough.
All righty. No yellow result?
No yellow result. It was a 60.
I'm gonna try to. I'll try and make a cow and make it.
Well, the reason I was asking for is during that time while I was gone, that way I could have been doing stuff in the background as well.
Gotcha.
That is a no.
And what are you trying to do with the cow?
I'm trying to conjure the illusion of a cow and make it sound like a cow.
Okay, gotcha. So you're not doing something to a cow, you're trying to make a cow.
Yes.
Okay.
I was talking
I-
about before we got on the trip.
Right.
For me specifically.
So you randomly make the visual of the cow as you're driving. Obviously that's not a problem. But no luck with the sound. And it spooks the cows a little bit, and they kind of scatter from the area because now a cow has materialized out of nowhere. Poor cows.
Well, I would make it go away also.
Right. So poof, no problem. The ride is pretty bumpy. Heading into heading back into Buenos Aires until you guys hit an actual paved road, which was a little bit. It took you, based on how he was driving, it took you almost an hour to get to that point. The drive into town, however, obviously is much faster because you're not on a country road now, out in the boonies. So another 15 more minutes later, and you're in town proper. He just doesn't know where exactly to stop, to stop. He asks a couple times as you guys are driving, but you don't understand what he's asking for. He's just saying something. So he just pulls over in a parking lot to, some five and dime sort of restaurant.
We will thank him and hop out.
Okay. He just, waves politely at that point, pulls out and drives away.
And we are in Rio now, right? Or are we
Nope.
just in a town?
You were in Buenos Aires.
Rio
Buenos Aires.
is in Brazil.
I did it again.
Should we take this? Should we take this to Latveria?
No.
No, it's just because he kept having the problem with Latvia and Latveria when you guys were over in New Prussia.
I am bad with names. I do not deny it.
That is okay. We should do a whole video of him like trying to do the Animaniacs thing and name the nations of the world.
If I was forced into that situation, I would be practicing it for days, if not weeks. I used to be able to sing the Parting Glass word by word because I was going to be playing in a Werewolf the Apocalypse game, and I was playing a Galliard, but the guy did not want to do the how most games start out by doing your first mood as a werewolf when you go through all that.
Yep.
I was going to actually sing it as a part of my proving myself after training.
Oh, okay, gotcha.
And I thought it'd be a pretty neat thing to do, but he's like, no, we're just going to skip past that. I'm like, dude, I've worked on this for like 2 months. But never mind. Different game, different system.
Yep, no, it's okay. All right. But you've gotten into town at this point. So Mark and since they're not all here, Mark, Shone, and Ixion will be going together. They are going to go to the bank so he can withdraw some cash local to the area so we don't stand out, quite as much. And you'll have some petty cash in case you need to buy anything or whatnot. He just tells the two of you, he says, why don't the two of you look for a hotel someplace nearby that we can set up.
Okay.
And he's looking at the book trying to find a good word for hotel. Google Translate. Oh, I can tell what I was trying to translate before. Oh, I don't know why, but it's like automatically set to Japanese for some reason.
Oh, okay.
Hoteru.
Hoteru. I love how they add a bunch of stuff to it.
Well,
But they're super they're super I don't want to say linguistic, but they're picky about their language. So if that word translates over into their language, then that's the way it's supposed to be. you're wrong if you pronounce it the correct way. Like Edwin is not Edwin, it's Edwin.
It also has to do with the structure of the language in general,
Yeah.
as compared to ours. It's a huge big thing.
Yeah.
However, he's looking through the thing. We're looking for La Mosada.
I think the word is just hotel, but either
Was
way.
Argentina a tourist spot yet?
Oh yeah.
Oh, okay.
Buenos Aires has been a tourist spot for a while. So how do you guys plan on doing this? Now that you're sitting in this parking lot right now, it's pretty close to downtown where he dropped you off. There's a lot of buildings nearby, a lot of more commercialized shops and stores. Many places where they've got some covered markets that go in between buildings that people sell their wares out of carts and tabletops.
I'm
Does
gonna say
Oh, go ahead.
I'm gonna say something that's absolutely horrendous, but is the best traveling advice that you can give someone. I look for the white people, because that's going to be more tourist areas, and those tend to be, and I put in quotations here, safer.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, travel boards like to keep those places nice and pretty and well decorated.
I mean, that's as good a place as any. I was going to ask, does the map that we have, does that like how detailed is that? I guess it's just
it's more just it's more like a Thomas guide. It's just telling you like streets
okay.
and coordinates. It doesn't actually have like businesses and whatnot laid out on it.
Okay. If we see any kind of a place that's touristy that maybe has like pamphlets in the front, I would look for like something that has like places of interest, so that we
Would
can
that
see.
look like they're marketing,
Yeah.
some sort of traveling? Okay, sound enough.
Yeah.
Why don't you both give me intuition checks as you explore the city?
I'm looking at an 84, so
Nice.
now what's my intuition at?
36.
Intuition's a 30. 84 is a yellow.
And 36 is a green. Amazing. Okay.
All right. Well, good job. So, as you guys are walking and kind of taking in the sights, looking around, nobody's really bothering you or whatnot. They're just walking around, obviously doing their thing, either going to and from work or doing their shopping, just like anybody else would. Nobody's messing with you or looking at you kind of funny. As you start walking, you end up turning a corner. You've gone a couple blocks at this point from where you're at. So you're a couple miles from where you left Mark and company, or where you'd gotten dropped off, I should say. And as you turn the corner, like the neighborhood, well, I don't say neighborhood, but the district kind of like you're in, looks much more European. So the buildings all have, some style to them, looking like they could be somewhere, maybe Middle Europe, somewhere around, Swiss Alps, perhaps Danish. Hard to say up front. But they stand out because they don't look like the normal architecture. Like if you go to other Spanish speaking or even Portuguese, they tend to have that flair to it because that's the culture that came, as the conquering power. That's what sets this out a little bit, is that it looks much more modern Europe-ish. And you
Would
can
you
see,
say,
and you see some signs on there that like advertise like bratwurst and whatnot.
I was gonna say, would you perhaps say maybe German?
It could be. Conveniently enough, you're finding the white people, since that's what you guys are looking for.
I'm sorry. That's the way. If you go to a foreign nation like that, that's the way you find the tourist traps.
No,
And
yeah,
around tourist traps are hotels.
yeah, makes sense.
All right, I'm gonna
Shelley said hi in the chat.
look for a place that has sign for a hotel.
So you're looking around at this point. Yeah, you end up finding one, like 2 buildings over at this point. Let's see. Hold on one second. So yeah, it has like a basic sign out, and the font style is much more straightforward. Looks like it's almost English, and it actually says hotel. It's a small place. It looks like it's like probably 2 stories. It just goes straight back, kind of like one of your travel lodges that you might find. Not terribly big. It's got the building with the rooms on the one side, parking on the other, and that's about that.
Let's walk around it and just take a look and make sure that it looks like a decently safe place.
While we've been here, have we noticed anybody using any type of SPB powers?
No.
Okay.
Yeah, in the short time that you've been here at this point, you haven't seen anything like that. So checking out the hotel at this point?
Yeah.
Okay. Go ahead and roll intuition checks again.
75.
Nice.
40. That's going to put me on green.
I'm a yellow.
Okay. All right. Well, at this point, you end up finding the signs that you were looking for in the hotel, lobby. Obviously, it's got some signs. Looks like it's advertising hot spots that you might want to check out. So it's like a picture of a museum, and there's a picture of a park. Looks like there's a picture of some mountains, like a getaway sort of thing. So it looks like they're advertising some places that you could probably visit while you're here. Looking around, obviously you don't have to go inside, but you can kind of walk around the outskirts and kind of go down the parking, the side where the parking is at. The place is well kept. It's not a new building, but it's also not. It's probably older, but it looks like it's been refurbished recently. So it's got nice, looking roof. It has a clean looking pool. And you can occasionally see staff walking back and forth, doing their routine of cleaning, going from room to room that's available. So, it doesn't look top notch, like what you might find in America as like a 5-star, but it doesn't look like a seedy place either.
Seems all right to me.
He'll get. We have the whole crew with us technically.
No. Well, yes,
I
but
mean,
not
in the country.
Yes.
He'll find out if they have 3 bedrooms or if they have any suites.
Okay, so you walk inside the lobby then?
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
I'll come with him.
So you enter, and then somebody, the person behind the counter, who does not look like they're Spanish, in descent. Looks like they probably could have stepped off the boat from somewhere in Europe. Replies to you in Spanish. And you don't know what exactly it is, but it sounded like it was, hello and welcome of some kind. But with extra words thrown in there, so.
Hola, I know español, inglés.
Americans.
Yes, we are.
Okay. How can I help?
We were wondering if you have any suites available.
No suite. Only one bed, two bed rooms.
All right, can I get 3 rooms in?
Okay, so they, look at their computer real quick and start doing some typing. And you about to say
It's
something?
possible we should only do 2 because, I mean, Ixion doesn't take up that much space.
Just 2 rooms in.
Okay. So at this point, gives you they end up giving the price in 1 second. Let me look up what I should have looked this up before. Pesos. There we go. Argentine peso. And it was just began circulation in 92. So it's only been around for a couple of years.
What was the exchange rate?
Back then, the exchange rate was significantly better than it is today.
Oh yeah, 100%.
Yes.
But
I only have
just to give you a basis right now, 1 peso equal right now, despite the fact that the dollar isn't what it was. Right now it is $0.0072.
Oh.
So he, the guy behind the counter, he gives you a quote that, he tries to translate it for you, and it comes to for the 2 rooms for how many nights actually? Now that I think about it.
We'll start with 7 days.
Okay. So for 7 days, let's do this. 1 second.
$7 days.
I know.
His assumption is worst comes to worst, they check out early.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Oh my.
With
Right.
a place this affordable, that's not a big deal.
So collectively that's going to cost you $2.
Sold.
He'll hand over a 5 spot.
I wasn't going to get super technical with it, so I translated it over where it's at right now, and it didn't even qualify. Just for the 1 room, didn't even get up to $50. So just round it up. $2.
It's kind of a weird thing. Even now, $1 million goes a long way in South American countries versus North American countries. It is crazy how insane it can get. But he'll hand over $5. He'll say, "Keep the change as a tip."
Oh, he just thank you. So he goes and starts, filling out some of the paperwork initially, and the names that the rooms are going to be in.
He's going to put it under his name.
Your name is what?
Freddy Fingers.
Okay, Freddy Fingers. And so you sign all that down. You pay the money. He is super excited. He slams down the 2 keys for each room. 1 for Lightbringer. 1 for the heck did we name your character again? Angler. Gosh, man, I just not my day.
Freddy is fine.
So he hands you both your keys, and
can we get 1 extra set of keys?
No, he shakes his head that that's all that they have.
I understand. You have a great day. Thank you so much. We'll have some people joining us here shortly.
And he says, "Oh, and the ice machine is at the end of the building. Oh, we only have the one right now."
Thank you. Oh, hold on 1 second.
Okay.
Did you go to ATV?
Oh, I was going to say, it sounds like dogs got in.
I thought you meant the corner store.
We can still hear him. Oh.
Real quick, my wife told me she was going to the store. I thought she meant the corner store, and she's like, "Do you want anything?" I'm like, "A Crunch Bar."
Ah. Oh, nice. So you got a Crunch Bar and then some.
Oh, this means I have Crunch Bars for the week.
For
Yeah.
7 days.
Thereabouts.
He doesn't fuss about us not having luggage, does he?
Nope.
Not with that tip.
No, definitely not with that tip.
All right, let's go upstairs and check it out.
I would still have a duffel. Even if it wasn't a full duffel, he would still have a traveling pack.
I don't think we really planned that far.
Yeah, most everybody didn't actually plan that far. It was you guys got the idea to go and to head out, and then it was okay. Sean, take us there, and bam, to Argentina.
I mean, technically speaking, after I reread the notes, I was like, oh, we're not waiting around to see if McLaren wants to give us money. Okay.
So he wouldn't have had time to grab his travel bag.
Nope.
Okay, this is why I can't miss games. Very much why I can no longer miss a game.
Da, da, da.
Let me turn that down.
Okay. But yeah, you guys get to your room. They're actually right next to one another, up on the second floor, squarely in the middle of the hotel.
I will take a look inside.
Okay, I mean it's standard fare. Smells clean. The carpet could probably be pulled at some point. Sheets in the bed look okay. It's got little samplings of soap. It has the Catholic Bible in the nightstand.
In Spanish.
In Spanish, in español. It's already stocked with some fresh towels and those little samples of soap.
How about the windows?
The windows, they can be opened, but only slightly. They can't be opened all the way. And it has a single air conditioner unit right down at the base.
I'm gonna check for bugs. Basically, we might as well.
What kind of bugs? The technological kind or the pest?
Yes, the mechanical kind.
Okay.
That is something he'll do as well.
All right. Go ahead and give me intuition checks again. See as you scour the room.
69.
15.
All right.
Not my area of expertise.
I got a green result, so
you're a little bit more privy. Not that you're in the spy craft, but having been from the military, a little bit more what to look for as opposed to your sister. So you do some of the obvious things. You're like, okay, well, I'll lift up the lamp, shade, and look at the very top to see if there's some sort of electronics that's there that shouldn't be. you unscrew the phone, speaker, not speaker, but the talking piece, and take a look there. Everything looks like it's checking out.
We are relatively safe. I don't think we have to worry about being spied on upon at the moment.
Okay, then how do you think we should tackle this? Obviously, we can't just listen in for rumors because we don't speak the language.
True.
Do we have any information about the people that were missing and maybe like where they were missing from or like last known locations?
Yeah. You basically it's in Spanish, unfortunately, but you have the newspaper clippings that were printed off and given to you.
He'll sit down and he'll start working his way through the paper, translating anything that is capitalized.
Okay.
So I imagine that I just don't know. I imagine that Spanish follows a lot of the same rules for capitalization for proper nouns.
Yeah.
So if he sees like what could be a city name, he's going to look at a couple of words before it and a couple of words after it and see if there's anything that's like city of or missing from.
Okay.
Were there let's see, do they have like a yellow pages kind of a thing, or were there local maps on like in the lobby of the hotel?
There were some local travel maps in the lobby. There's no
Okay.
like white page or anything like that, but you do have the local travel map. Yes.
Then I would go and get that and start kind of looking for place names that Freddie is pulling out of the
No, see if anything is close by.
just like trying to kind of map them out on plot them out.
Okay.
The different places.
Keep in mind the map is more of like a caricature map because it's supposed to
Okay.
be touristy,
Oh,
so
yeah,
it's not
yeah.
going to be exact.
Okay.
So
Well,
it's gonna be a little difficult doing that, but not impossible.
we'll do the best we can.
Okay. Basically, the way the map looks is like those maps that you would get when you walk into Disneyland or a theme park or something. I mean, it has a general understanding of where stuff's at, but it's not precise because it's caricature.
I can never miss another game. Okay, my military experience may be 2 decades old. But you tell me, hey, we're gonna just pop into Argentina. I'm grabbing a topographical map. I've got my to-go bag. I actually do have a to-go bag.
I'm pretty sure the others were thinking more about that. Carmen was mostly thinking about her mother being murdered. Sorry.
So that being said,
That's what you have tonight.
give me a reason check, Freddie, as you were going over, the news clippings to see if you can try and triangulate anything here.
Nope, that's a 5.
All right.
At least it's not a 3 or 2 or 1.
Okay. Still a white result.
Or a 4.
So he's having a devil of a time at this point because he doesn't speak Spanish. Figuring out what's what. I mean, with the exception of some pictures, he can't. It's taking way too long to figure this out like you had hoped. However, since you're kind of waiting, Brittany, and on him translating it, why don't you give me an intuition check?
41 on incredible, which is green.
Oh, okay. So your first thought is obviously you guys need a translator at this point. It's somebody who can just look at this and give you the straight skinny without, you guys getting lost in the details. And that's when you remember Aegis Foundation is an international business. They may have an office here.
I will pick up the phone
Okay.
and dial long distance.
Oh, you're gonna call the main office?
Yes.
Okay, no problem. Okay, so I mean, you tell them, the long distance code, put in the number, so on and so forth, and you get connected over to the United States. There's a couple of clicks and odd hold music, intermittently because you're crossing international borders with the call. And then eventually you hear somebody in English, picking up the line. This is the Aegis Foundation. Daryl speaking.
Hi, Daryl. Do you have an office in Argentina?
The only office that we have is in Buenos Aires, ma'am.
Can I get the number for that office, please?
Hold one moment, please.
Thank you.
Na 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 na. Kenny G playing in the background, softly soothing. And then he comes back on the line. He says, "Okay, do you have a pen and paper available?"
Yes, go ahead.
Okay. And so he, gives you the number 555. Gives you the rest of the number. And he gives you. He doesn't know you're calling international, so it's like he gives you the international code, to call Argentina and whatnot as well.
Thank you kindly.
Oh, you're welcome. Was there anything else I could help you with, ma'am?
I think that's all I need today.
Okay. Well, thank you very much for calling, and you have a nice day.
Thank you. And I will hang up and then call the number that he gave me.
Okay. So dialing. Got your nice rotary phone going on there.
Are you serious?
Oh yeah, 100%.
Okay. Been a minute since I used one of those.
Yep. In real life, not in
Right.
game. So, call goes through, and somebody responds in Spanish. Probably
hello,
with the intro spiel like you would expect, but you don't fully
right.
understand it.
Hello, is there someone there who speaks English, please?
Uno momento. Place you back on hold. Na 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 na
Is that the
na.
same song?
Yep. It's cheaper to, for licensing purposes, just, make it extend wherever they call. So then somebody picks up. This is the Aegis Foundation, Buenos Aires office. How can I help?
Hi, this is Lightbringer from the Legacy Group on an operation here. We are hoping to find someone who can translate for us.
I'm sorry, you're who again?
My call name is Lightbringer.
Okay, so you hear like a brief pause, and you can hear the like typing on a keyboard. Okay. All right. So you're here in town. It says here you're based elsewhere.
Yes, as I said, we're doing some research here. Could use someone to assist us for the duration.
All right. So just for translating purposes, or did you need additional security?
No, that won't be necessary.
All right. we can have somebody assigned to you. We can work out the particulars later. We've got your member ID and information here, so we can work out cost later. That's not an issue. Do you have a pen and paper handy? We can give you the address that you'll need to go to.
Yes, go ahead.
Okay, so she, person you're talking to, gives you, gives you the address, where to go. She also gives you a landmark to look for because it's evident you're not from here. And she's like, if you look for the big statue, on the south side where the office building, a couple stories up. It's not a very our offices aren't very big here, so we don't have all the resources like we normally would have. But a translator is definitely not an issue.
All right, one moment, and I will I will lean over to Freddie and say, is there anything else you can think of?
No, that should be it.
Okay, and when can we expect you to stop by the office?
Within the hour.
Okay, I will let our person know. Just come right on up. You may want to be in costume if you're attempting to keep your identity secret. Other than that, we'll see you then.
Can you give us a brief rundown of the SPB situation here in the country?
Given the topics that you're attempting to discuss, it's probably better if we did so in person. This is a public line, ma'am.
Freddie just has his face like this the entire time. Tell him we'll be there under an hour.
All right, we'll see you soon.
Okay. Until she hangs up.
While she was doing that, he did radio to the others to let them know what the hotel was and where they were headed to.
Sure thing.
Just enough to keep that chain of communication back and forth.
Right. That is not a problem. And Mark would just let you know that he's got the money. They'll be at the hotel soon.
I think it might be prudent to cloak us on the way there.
You read my mind.
Just so if they can't even tell us whether we would be targeted or remarked upon more than we would want to.
No, it's standard practice in the military not to discuss things like that on lines that are not secured.
Right. Apologies.
My previous work in the military I've done a few things, but the point is you wouldn't discuss something like that on an unsecured line, and that's all she was saying to you.
No, that right.
Now, that being said, even though I kind of walked into the room and y'all teleported me to Argentina, it's plausible. Hey,
it's
Angler, come
plausible.
here real quick.
Shone is a little impulsive.
Trigger happy?
Impulsive sounds better. Sticky finger.
If you'd like to cloak us, I'm still wearing my uniform underneath my clothes normally. So he pulls down the sleeves and pulls over the mask.
I still haven't put anything on the sides yet.
No, but it's still cool. You may be able to stick a piece of tape like right in the middle.
I was just thinking.
Just
how dorky would this look?
So you guys are going to go there yourselves, and you're going to use your illusion-based powers to hide yourself?
Yes.
Okay. So keep in mind. Oh yeah, Shelley's like, I'm always impulsive. So keep in mind, you are unable to mask sound. You can definitely make yourselves invisible, though.
Oh yeah.
So as you guys, I'm assuming, probably take a fire escape up to the roof to take off from there.
Sure.
That's one way to do it. I was planning on just walking there instead. It's a lot less obvious which hotel we're staying at if people start tracking us.
Okay, so then I need to know what you guys are going to do then, because that's going to dictate what powers are being used. You're just walking down the street to the.
Yeah. Sure. Let's just walk.
Okay.
Is it how far is it?
Well, it's not on your caricature map, obviously. You could probably go ask though. The person in the lobby seemed to understand English well enough.
Well, we probably have a street name, right?
Yeah.
So we could look at find the street name
Mm-hmm.
on the regular map.
Oh, on the regular map. Yeah, you can do that. Oh, okay, so then if you're looking at that, you're looking at probably a 2-mile walk one way.
Okay, that's not bad. Half an hour.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so you guys walk through the center of downtown at that point from where you're at. All of the newer upscale buildings that are here, looking very metropolitan. You know, basically, Buenos Aires clearly trying to make its mark, on the international market to look like a place that a business could come to, and it be attractive for that. So you're trying to keep up with the likes of New York, Paris, London, that sort of thing. It's on its way. I mean, it's still got its share of rundown buildings or older buildings that could probably be repaired around this time near the outer ring. But when you get closer to the actual downtown, the center, yeah, it's right up there. Yeah, nice clean sidewalks, rare amount of graffiti to be found anywhere. Well kept bushes and trees, in potted areas and whatnot. So the office building that the Aegis Foundation is in is an office building that's shared by others. So it's evident they don't really have a big presence here, obviously. But it is on the very top of a 9-story building.
It's got to be an interesting elevator situation.
So you just walk in and take the elevator up. Once you get to the top floor is secured. They've got the whole floor to themselves. It's nothing like what you guys saw in Strongford, though. They've got 2 agents that wait out there by the door. As anybody steps off the elevator. Basically, there's like a small little lobby, a pretty big security door right there, as well as the 2 guards standing next to it. And they both look at you and hold their hands up, likely telling you to stop in Spanish. Alto. Why are they telling me to stop and tall?
He stops.
Okay. They're
No
looking at
hable
you.
español. Anglés?
English.
Okay, and they say, why are you here?
We're meeting with, what was her name?
Did we get a name?
Presumably you got a name. Yeah, you spoke to an operator in essence.
We'll give him the name.
Okay, so they call in real quick, and they're looking at both of you. So here's the question: since you walked there, are you guys in uniform?
Yes.
Yes.
But we were cloaked on the way there.
So you walked invisibly?
Yes.
Okay, I needed to know that because that means people could have accidentally hit you. But we'll bypass that for now. So presumably when you're in the elevator, you do your little illusion thing to look like you're in costume. So the one guy keeps his hand up and he taps the earpiece real quick to make a call back. And then you hear like the magnetic electric seal to the door, sort of thing, and one of them kind of pushes it open to let you guys in.
I guess we could have walked here illusioned to look like plainclothes. I didn't think about that. Anyway, we're here.
So you walk in. The best way to define the way this office looks, it's mostly clean, but it looks more like Gumshoe Detective than it does International Agency. There are people here in uniforms, but they're a little bit more disheveled looking than what you're used to at the main office in Strongford. A Latin looking man, probably 5'5", so he's a little on the shorter side. Very athletic looking, and in a more low key outfit. He's just got t-shirt, pants, shoes, and like a thin duster looking like coat. And he holds his hand out and he says, "I am Agent Aguilar. I take it you're the individuals that need a translator?"
Yes, we do. We're so sorry that we didn't give you plenty of ahead of time. Normally we would have.
No, it's fine. This is probably the most, as odd as it sounds, it's probably the most excitement I've had in weeks.
That is
so. How can I help?
terrible.
We've got these papers that we need to get translated. We're looking for, if I were to boil it down to the simplest terms possible, we're looking for a missing person or potentially missing person. The clippings we have here is supposed to indicate some things about them. I'm still kind of out of the loop on this. They called me into the office and I got teleported here real quick. So we were hoping you'd be able to translate these for us and give us just a little bit more information about them.
Yeah, I could take a look at that. Do we need to do this here, or did you have some other place that you want to do this at?
Here's fun. Wherever's good for you.
So he motions over to a small little office that's not currently in use. It looks like it's got some stacks of paperwork and whatnot. It's kind of doubling up as storage. So he motions, to the desk that's there. He slides off some of the stacks that are on it, sets them on top of one another in a corner, and pulls chairs for the both of you.
Oh, thank you so much.
Take a seat.
Okay, so he says, so let me have it. What is it that you have?
He'll hand over the file with the clippings in it.
Okay.
And I'll get out my notebook or notepad and just start be ready for taking notes.
Okay, so he starts looking at them. He says, "Oh, I remember some of these, being in the news. Yeah, these are missing persons reports.
Mm-hmm.
What was it about them that brought you here, outside of it being a missing persons?"
He looks at her.
Yeah, so this is just out of character. This is an operation or a lead that we got from Meredith.
Mm-hmm.
Brittany is not 100% sure what the connection was that this needed to be, or like, I know what they're thinking, but I don't know how much is safe to discuss with outside of our group.
Well, that is a fair question. And as your character is still new to the whole superheroine / espionage kind of side of things, that's really up to you to determine what you want to share.
An angler just doesn't know. which is why he kept it vague.
So I guess we'll say
I guess the best way to put this is put your best spy cap on. Like if you've seen any James Bond films or any, cops undercover sort of thing, and use that as a filter to give the information if you think it's that sensitive.
it's the we're still in the early stages of the investigation. So I don't want to assume, but if you could tell us any last known locations, persons of interest, associates, we'd like to do some digging, maybe retrace some of these locations.
Okay. That's going to take a little bit of time. I'll have to, coordinate with the local, police department here, the Policia, to if I can get access to some of their notes. That may be an option. But based on what I'm seeing here, it looks like these were just kind of snatch and grab, almost like the way it's reading, like kidnappings. But there were no like ransom demands. They were just.
Are they happening in a particular area of the city?
So he looks down at it and he says, based on the streets, yeah, I think so. At least the clippings that you've got here.
Can you show us on the map where this is? And we'll pull out our city map, the regular one, not the cutesy one.
Yeah. So he pulls it up and he says, well, one of the ones you're probably going to want to avoid, as far as it being dangerous, and it looks like that's where these were stemming from. Hold on one second. Is oh, that's cool. There we go. Baracas in Comuna 4. And he shows you relative on a map, like, kind of, because it doesn't really show like outlines and whatnot. So he kind of takes a pin and then kind of, outlines it on your map.
Okay.
So you can see relative, like, where it's at.
And you said, don't go here?
He says, well, that's where these were, it looks like they were taken, at least the clippings that you've given me, it looks like that's where they've taken place at. He says it's a district that is known for its street art and some pretty beautiful graffiti, but it rates pretty high in crime, if not among the highest in Buenos Aires.
And can you tell? Oh, go ahead.
What's the SPB population like there?
I have no clue. The government likely would not make that census information public. There is a very strong anti-deviant, even SPB feeling here, which is why you don't really see any national hero akin to, like, some of the ones you find in America or Russia or England. I'm not too sure terribly why. But given this area is depressed, you would probably find those types there. Maybe not exclusively, but you would probably find those types there, who are trying to lay low and keep what they are hidden. Do you suspect these missing people are SPBs?
We had a larger investigation going on. Do you remember hearing about Strongport a few months ago?
Strongford.
A little bit ago. I forget how long in gaming.
I do. We our American offices were involved in that to an extent.
Yes, they were.
We feared that it may be something related to that situation that was going on there.
Oh wow.
That's the knowledge that's been given to me, is that it may be related.
Hmm. Okay, yeah, that's bad news all around. So it sounds like you're going
Agreed.
to need more than just a translator. So I
We're
mean, how can I
we're
help?
doing we're doing preliminary stuff right now. We're not doing anything too in depth.
So are you thinking international kidnapping ring or something, or
That's a possibility, but we don't want to go saying that yet without there being more
Evidence.
evidence to support it.
okay?
It's like saying the Russians are just going to randomly attack us right now. All it does is create confusion and fear, and we're not looking for that.
No, I totally understand. So is there anything else I can help with here?
Can
Um,
um can you tell us as far as, so it sounds like your SPBs do not operate openly in the city?
We have some, and they tend like you and everybody else. They tend to keep their identity
For a
secret,
while?
but they're nowhere near as flamboyant as the rest of you are in like America.
So if we were to walk around like this,
That would be bad.
okay. So okay. Um Good to know. Is there, in these articles, is there a particular time frame that you're seeing um, these I mean, what are the dates of these disappearances?
The dates are all within a month of one another. So there's like a
Okay.
total of 3 that you've got there, that you have with you on file that have been copied down, and all of them were within like a month.
and these are only the ones that were reported. It doesn't even say
Right.
about.
Um, Anything else, Freddie?
Angler.
Angler.
No, that'll be. Thank you so much. Um, while we're here, um, any good way to learn enough Spanish to get around pretty quickly, like a quick translate guide?
Oh, we do have something that I think that might help you, and he hands you something that looks kind of like a battery charger. Lengthwise maybe just a little bit bigger than this. But
Mhm.
it has a little what looks to be like a microphone at the end, and at the back it has what appears to be a little speaker. And he says the tech heads in America came up with this. It's only skilled for the one language, but if you get somebody to speak in this in Spanish, it'll spit it back out to you in English.
Thank you so much.
It's only got like a 2 hour time span, so it's not something you can just keep on indefinitely during the day. It does recharge, but it takes a couple hours to recharge.
All right, and I've got one more question for you. Where's a good place for food around here?
Oh, so he's like, well, okay, well that's not a problem. He lists off like 3 or 4 different restaurants on the way, roughly which way you guys came, that have got food that cater to tourists. So a little bit broader, span, palate, taste buds. Not your typical like just all spicy, Spanish food, but a little bit more, different cuisine. Some German too.
I hear Argentina has incredible barbecue.
Uh,
Or meat in general.
I mean, I'm told that there are plenty of areas in America that have good barbecue, so I can't, weigh in there, but I think we've got some good barbecue, yeah.
Then you said yeah.
What?
It's Justin being stupid. That's all. Yeah.
Okay. Thank you very much, and we may call you again.
Okay, please do. I'm here at the office most days.
All right. I guess we'll take our notes and
Oh, you wouldn't happen to have any spare bug out bags, would you?
Uh, I I think we might have like a spare emergency kit in a duffel bag, if that would help.
No, I can't take your last one if it's your last one.
No, it's not our last one. I just
Yeah, we're gonna need one of those.
Okay.
Normally, I would have my own, but circumstances.
Yeah, just wait right here. I'll get that for you in just a second. So, a couple minutes later, he comes, kind of hustling around the corner. It's in like a green, duffel bag sort of thing. It's
It's an old school military duffel bag.
Yeah, it's an old
'Cause I
school.
love
It's,
those.
it's an old school military duffel bag, but it's packed. It's got like a couple like MREs in it. It's got your like emergency medical kit with some sewing and patching things up, that sort of thing.
Thank you so much.
I'm
How
sorry.
much does this
Sorry,
cost?
I couldn't help more.
How much does this cost? Because I actually want to pay you for this.
No. It's actually being put on the expense bill. So we're
Alrighty.
we're charging that up to the American offices, and we get compensated that way.
All right. Thank you so much. And he'll shoulder that, and it's like, okay, now it's a good time to go.
all right. I guess we'll get in the elevator and then I'll bring.
Before we press the button, he'll tell her to disguise us before we get back out on the street.
Whammy. Exactly.
Okay.
We'll just look like plain clothes this time.
Plain clothes. Okay. Not invisible.
No.
Okay. So you get downstairs, and there's just people walking around doing their thing, sometimes catching cabs, other people doing some shopping or going to and from work, just like you would expect in a big city.
Let's get back to the hotel first so I can properly categorize it, what's in here, and hopefully give the others a moment to catch up to us.
Do we want to maybe buy some supplies on our way back?
I want to go through the bag first. That way we know what we need before we go out and buy a whole bunch of duplicates of stuff that's just bulky, unneeded.
Okay.
Okay.
Although I like where your brain is on this.
If we're going to be staying here 7 days, I'm definitely going to need a change of clothes.
Oh no, that's just for the hotel. Worst comes to worst, we don't stay all 7 days.
Right.
They still get paid for the time, and if they realize that we're not coming back, they'll just rent it out to somebody else. It's a no harm, no foul.
Right. Okay.
Okay. So then you head back to the hotel at this point to start cataloging what you have in your emergency duffel bag. What we'll do here is go ahead and stop for the night since Dale wasn't able to join us. We don't get too much further. Dale was having some technical issues with his computer. Wiped out the driver, and then he can't get it fixed, and I guess other issues were happening, so he wasn't able to join us. So I apologize for the abbreviated game tonight. However, our next game is going to be in 2 weeks. That's going to be September 17th. And that weekend, we're actually doing a fundraiser. We're going to be trying to raise funds for Control Alt Delete, who is a local charity here in Arizona that helps with victims of domestic abuse. Our target goal is $100, so we're hoping to raise that $100 for them. Outside of that, I think that's really it. Hopefully we'll have a longer game. Well, we will have a longer game then. Hopefully we have everybody on board. Just stuff happened. So outside of that, thank you guys all for tuning in and watching. And we will catch you next time. Good night, guys.